Let me say a special good morning to listeners, those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9. Good Wednesday morning to you. Those of you viewing via GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channel 20, good morning to you also. Hope all is well. Let me say good morning to our social media audience. Those of you viewing, listening via our Facebook page, good morning. Those of you via YouTube channels. Those of you who could probably tune in if you're having issues with the regular YouTube channel that you view. You can always go to the GBN Production YouTube channel and have a view of the show there. Just a little bit take a note of that. So once again, good morning to one and all, and welcome. It's Wednesday, the 1st day of November. We're starting a brand new month. Good morning to all and all once again. And on Wednesdays, you know, we do entertain various departments of government. And this morning, we have with us, of course, Miss Phoebe Browne, and she's a member of the Wage Advisory Committee. Let me go over and say good morning to Ms. Browne. Ms. Browne, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, JT.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thanks.
All right. Well, Ms. Browne, welcome on to the point this morning. This morning we'll be talking about, of course, you being a member of the Wage Advisory Committee, and you know it's a topical conversation that everyone is having around lately in terms of what's going on with the Wage Advisory Committee. Tell us about your role in on the Wage Advisory Committee. Tell us about your role and what you play, so that we have a bit of an edge in terms of where the conversation goes.
Okay, I represent youth, gender, and small enterprises.
Mm-hmm. Youth, gender, and small enterprises, and in reference to that, which means that your presence on the committees is to speak about young people in general, and the part they play in terms of wages. Gender in terms of I'm assuming you being female, you talk females. I'm assuming on that level. And so welcome. So tell us, lots of consultations been going on various sectors in terms of the workers, employees, and so forth. You've been on the Wage Advisory Committee and the role that you play with your mentor youth and so forth. How are these consultations been going thus far?
Okay, so we have had consultations in different parishes, each of the parishes, including Carriacou. Those consultations, we have had feedback from persons. The gender, I would say, it's fairly balanced to say, because both male and female being coming out.
All right.
And it's interesting to know that some of the youths have been engaging in asking us a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Right? They are concerned as to their expenses, how they are able to meet the monthly expense with the current living wage that they have. Right? And some of the responses, the questions, the issues that they would have shared to us, they are very touching. How it is that they have to, get a second job or find alternative means to make it. And so.
All right. Now, in listening to the young people in particular, because, we have a young population in Grenada, to a point. It's a young population. And with the various questions that they've been asking, how was it tough for the committee in terms of response for them, in terms of knowing what the younger people would like in today's in Grenada in terms of the wages and so forth, in terms of was it a tough decision in terms of response?
You said decision, so to address the decision word that you use, we were not necessarily using just their wording, yeah?
Okay.
Because we have to be realistic, because we want business to remain. We don't want any business to have to close. So in terms of that, we listen to what they are saying. Some of it they are very touching in terms of how they are been making it to cover. Some of them they are not able to cover their expenses. Some are not able to even pay their own transportation for bus and stuff like that. So it was very, touching, sad, but at the same time we have to put aside emotions and deal with the reality of things and to see what we can do, in terms of the recommendations that we are going to make to the minister.
Was it worrying in any way in terms of how some of the questions that were asked in terms of, is it really that individuals are living in that particular way? Was it
yes.
a bit of a concern in any way?
Yes, the different parishes, we have had persons given similar, experiences. And when you hear the different sectors, some of them, what it is that they have been receiving as their income. You're trying to figure out how is it that
people are even surviving.
Right.
All right, it's interesting to know. Now, In the vast majority of the consultation that you of course the committee have had, and I'm assuming you may have participated in not all but most of, which particular area or particular parish I would say that was most concerning? If there was, you could say, well, it was really concerning to see how individuals were living in the parish of St. Mark, St. John, St. Patrick, St. Andrew, St. David. Isn't there anyone that you could?
What I would say is that persons who have to travel from their parish to our next parish.
That was a concerning factor there.
Yes, because they will all say that they do not have the funds for their own transportation. So they're able to meet certain needs of theirs, and one of it was they had to forego that in order to be able to cover certain things, especially those who have had children.
Still on the question of concern, what was most concerning to the committee, and you being part in the role of the youth and gender part of it? What was most concerning in terms of some of the questions asked? What was a bit of a concern to you? Maybe on a personal level or to the committee?
You're asking me a direct question?
Yeah.
Well, what I would say concerning is that the level of education that persons have, because really education has a part to play in terms of your income.
Yes.
Right? And I don't want to go more into having to answer anything that gives a personal opinion, because I understand that point.
All right. Hey, folks, we're talking with Ms. Phoebe Browne this morning. She's a member of the Wage Advisory Committee. And one of her main, of course, reason for this conversation this morning is relating to that, of course, consultation that will be taking place tomorrow. That's on the minimum wage. And that's a national consultation this morning. Could refer to that as the grand finale of consultations. We could say that, right?
Right. So that will be our final consultation. It will be held at the Trade Center Annex, beginning at 7 p.m. and we are encouraging the entire public to come. Business owners, we have entrepreneurs, employees, everyone to come out, because in doing so you are able to ask your questions, you're able to make suggestions, whatever it is, so that the committee, as well as we have ministers that are going to be there, so they would be able to hear from you. You can ask your questions and get a direct answer then, and that will be the final consultation. So after that consultation, whatever information, whatever data that is gathered, we are going to use that to present that final document, which is going to be submitted to, because January 1st, 2024 is when this is going to be implemented.
All right.
So again, I'm encouraging the public to come out.
All right. Now you're saying everyone is invited to come on out tomorrow, but everyone is invited. But who are those main individuals that the committee is expecting to see come out and seeking to see come to that consultation on Thursday and get their feedback in terms of what they need to ask the various ministers and members of the committee?
Business owners. So you have a large business, a small business, you're an entrepreneur, you are employee, everyone is asked to come out, because it would affect you in one way or the other. Even if you're a homeowner and you have a help at home, a gardener at home, you still need to come out, because they are entitled to being paid some sort of wage. So it will affect you. So everyone basically is invited to come out.
All right.
Even students, and I would say students being that you are a student at the moment, let's say a university student or a TAMCC student, come out. The information is good for you.
All right. So certainly hope everyone comes out. We drew for a break. Let's take it, and when we come back, we should chat some more. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio and the GBN TV.
Your life is yours. Your future's in your hands. Your body is yours. That's why you need a plan. You gotta plan your family, avoid HIV, get the education from the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association. We
offer STI screening, gender-based violence counseling, prenatal and postnatal checks, injectables, condoms, pap smears, and other sexual reproductive services. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Pointy Street, St. George's. Whether male or female, it doesn't matter. We're here to make your life better.
Grenada Planned Parenthood Association.
For appointments, call 440-3341.
Mr. mentioned the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Welcome back, listeners, or welcome back, viewers. It's Classic Radio, GBN TV. It's To The Point. I'm your host, GT, and with me this morning, my guest, we have Miss Phoebe Browne. She's a member of the Wage Advisory Committee. We spent some time a while ago talking about the minimum wage national consultation that will take place tomorrow. That's tomorrow, Thursday, the 2nd November. It takes place at the Trade Center Annex, starting time 7 p.m. And as, of course, Ms. Browne mentioned, she's asking all to come on out, especially, you are an employer, you're an employee also, you're invited to come on out, everyone, and give some feedback to the Wage Advisory Committee so they will have a bit of a knowledge in terms of what is expected in the final outcome, if I could put it in that way, because it's the final one of all the consultation that may have taken place already. This will be the final one, and it's if I could ask, and how important is this particular consultation in general?
I would say it's most important than the others in the sense that we would be having the ministers of government there, and because it's the final one. So everything that persons who would have wanted to say something that did not get the opportunity, or they didn't, for whatever reason, they weren't able to tune into it to even listen or so, this is the final chance for everyone who wants to give an input or contribution to do so, because once this is done, then whatever is will be. All right.
And I'm assuming after this, recommendation will be presented to government, and it goes from there.
Yes.
In terms of the final outcome, whatever it takes place in January, in terms of the final, and knows of how individuals will be paid at what level and so forth. Now, in all of the consultation that you have gone through, in previous consultations around the island, you spoke a wee bit about how let me rephrase it and ask it about workers in particular categories will come to these consultations, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Right? Whether you're a domestic worker, you are of course someone who works in someone's a particular establishment and so forth. What were some of the main concerns from these, consultation that you may be able to speak of?
Well, similar to what was asked earlier before the break, it's just the way persons have been able to meet their needs, having the income that they have, right? Because some of them would talk about the challenges, the amount of money they are working for, and their expenses, the utility, the food basket, all of things like that. And sometimes it's not necessarily that they are mismanaging their funding based on what they would have shared with us, but it's just that the money is just not enough.
So basically, the issue of most of the consultation was basically surrounding about money. in terms of how much they've been paid for what they've been doing, and the effect in terms of what they've been paid is it having on them. That was basically more of the concerns the individual been having.
Yes, most of the persons who would have presented, those are the discussions that was held.
All right. So come January, when the final of course bit and pieces are delivered to government and the decision has been made, what can an individual look forward to?
Employees should look forward to an increase in the minimum wage, which means that they have a bit more to accommodate their expenses, and we trust that they would use that wisely. Businesses shouldn't be, placed out of running. You just have to close on your operation and stuff like that, because the consultation is there for them as well. They should come, participate. So at the end of it in January, we are all on the same page where we can continue in business and operating, and employers, everybody should be happy. The economy should have a quick turnover and stuff like that, because we are aware of the bi-monthly payments. So the economy should rise.
All right. You keep mentioning that business should not worry. When in most of the consultation, I'm assuming you spoke to employers who are owners of businesses. What were some of the main concerns they were having in the consultation, if you're able to share that information?
The ability to cover all of this, because payroll is a.
I mean, we're expecting that payroll will increase to a point,
right?
When the new wages is being implemented. What were some of the concerns that businesses in particular, or business owners in particular, were having? Who did attend, or who in process of the consultation that you had this consultation with? What were some of the concerns that they had?
Being able to continue in business, operating, not having to close down, as well as the income that they are going to be paying out to their staff, their employees, how feasible that would be, and how it's going to affect their books and stuff like that.
All right. I guess most of them are more concerned about the feasibility aspect of it.
Right, and in terms of, getting staff to do their work, because some staff, they are not self-motivated and stuff like that,
All right.
And when I say self-motivated, like some of them would have spoken about issues that they have had with staff, their delinquency and stuff like that, but this is not for the minimum wage. But
I mean, the committee, that's not for the committee to worry about. That's more of the employer should that concern.
Right.
But, I'm assuming employers will be concerned to a point about that, because, now I have to pay individuals more and I'm not getting the particular work out of them. In terms of that I have to pay. How does the committee feel about that? Was the committee had any concerns with that in terms of when employers raise those concerns?
Yes. But this is something for the HR department and so to deal with. This is not something for.
But I'm assuming that the questions were raised, right?
Yes, it was raised.
Yes.
Right, but we just have to maintain our role, which is to raise the concerns of the people, get the concerns of the stakeholders as the employers and try to bring everything to the middle, and to make that proper recommendation to the Minister of Labour.
All right.
So we focus on our role.
All right. So, and in all of how many consultation did it has gone through before we get to this one? If you do have that stats with you for now.
We have done each of the parishes. Yeah. And then we have had different sectors apart from that. So roughly, it could be about 10 or 12.
10 or
because
12.
we met with persons via Zoom, in person. We have gone to the venue and stuff like that. So we have had quite a number. Even yesterday we had consultations again. I can't put a direct figure because I don't want to discount it. But we've had a lot of consultations.
All right. From a committee point of view, being a member also from a committee point of view, do you think we at Grenada is ready for a wage an increase in the wages?
I would say yes. Yes, definitely.
And in terms of the feedback that you've been getting from individuals in terms of the wages that they've been receiving, you say yes. I think it's needed.
Inflation rise.
Yes, so true.
and I'm assuming you have a family, and even if you don't have a family, you still have yourself to take care of. And with the constant rise in the cost of goods, the food basket, utility, different things, clothing especially, you need to have an increase in your wage as well.
All right.
Okay,
all right,
so it is needed.
There's in the future, we know that the last consultation on minimum wage was it held a couple of years ago before this one we have it now.
That would have been 2011.
2011. And how regular now would the committee is this particular committee expected to start back consultations again and make recommendations as we see it forward?
Every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
All right. Would this particular committee be staying in place after this particular consultation?
Well, that would will be dependent on the powers that be above the committee. Those would have placed us in.
All right. All right. Let's take another break. We're coming right back, folks. It's to the point. We're moving down to make that 20 minutes after the hour. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Don't touch it out.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Being aware of your body, empowering yourselves as women, and ensuring that we do what is best for us. If we don't look after ourselves, we cannot take care of our families and our husbands and our workforce.
It's important to seek what's called a medical wellness checkup, and your family practitioner, your local health center, or even a specialist can guide you through what may be right for you.
Caribbean Medical, right here on this station.
I want to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
Records at the traffic department shows that a total of 1,447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming. When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point for today, Wednesday, the 1st of November. And with me this morning, may I ask Ms. Phoebe Browne with me this morning. And we're talking the minimum wage this morning, and we're talking about the minimum wage consultation, the national consultation coming up on Thursday. And any final information you want to share with our viewers and listeners this morning, Ms. Browne, on the final the minimum wage national consultation? We call it the national because that's where everyone is invited now to come on out. Anything final you want to say before we take a wrap this morning?
Well, I'll just share with them the flyer that we have, and that is the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Labor and Consumer Affairs Minimum Wage National Consultation. It will be on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023 from 7 p.m. at the Trade Center Annex. Come here, the Senator, the Honorable Claudette Joseph, Minister of Legal Affairs, Labor and Consumer Affairs, as well as the other ministers of government will be there. The other members of the Wages Advisory Committee will also be there, and this committee comprises of persons from the Trade Unions Council, the Employers Federation, and other members representing government will be there. You're encouraged to come out, bring your questions, get them answered, and bring whatever suggestions, whatever it is that you want to raise, bring it out. This is one Grenada, one Carriacou, one Petit Martinique. We are one people, and whatever we do is going to affect our children and our grandchildren. So let's make the best of it so we have positive effect coming out for 2024 from the minimum wage increase.
All right. Ms. Browne, I want to thank you for being with me this morning. I know you have to cut short. You have another prior engagement, so you need to attend to. I want to thank you for coming and sharing information, and all the best on the, of course, consultation tomorrow.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you there.
I will try my best to be fair.
Okay.
Have a good one. All the best. Hey, folks, we will take a little break. We do have another guest joining us shortly. In the name of Mr. Terry Forrester, he'll be joining us on the next segment. So stay with us, folks. Let's just get him all settled in, and we'll be right back.
Episode of Caribbean Passport TV, we travel to St. Kitts and Nevis, visit a cocoa estate in Trinidad and Tobago, and listen to some steel pan music. And then we'll wind down with some paintings right here on this station.
Mention the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low pole that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's Classic Radio, GBN TV. I want to thank once again Ms. Phoebe Browne for being with me this morning. And she said some information pertaining to, of course, the minimum wage and the national consultation that will be taking place tomorrow, Thursday. Just a bit of a reminder once again, tomorrow, Thursday, the 2nd of November, the Trade Center Annex, starting time 7 p.m. Lots of folks going to be there in terms of members of government and so forth is going to be there. And they're asking everyone to come out and of course, share with them your concerns and air your views also. My second guest with me this morning is, of course, Mr. Terry Forrester. Let's go over to him and say good morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Forrester. How are you this morning, sir?
Good morning to all your listeners and viewers locally and abroad. Let me just turn on this radio. I'm sorry.
All right. And for us, that's a move a wee bit. Hey, folks, don't forget, you could, of course, always listen to us via, of course, our GBN production. Those of you via I'm just getting some information from someone saying they was trying to get us on the YouTube. You could go to GBN production and view us there. Good morning to those of you via our, of course, Facebook page also. Good morning. Mr. Forrester, welcome back. Nice to have you with me once again. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much indeed, and pleasant good morning to all your listeners and viewers locally and internationally, especially those in the diaspora.
All right.
Pleasant good morning.
All right. Our conversation this morning is going to lead on the launch yesterday of the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence. We had the launch. So, sometimes we get folks misinterpreted. I had someone saying this morning, we having independence in at the end of October, but it was actually just the launch of it yesterday, just to get folks, in tune with what really took place. Tell us about it, sir, and in terms of your overall view of the launch yesterday.
Well, thank you very much, GT. That launch yesterday was really, really fantastic indeed, and the turnout was just exceptional. But it was, as you said, the launch of the 50th anniversary of independence, basically to signal activities that will take place over a one-year period to celebrate our 50th anniversary, which comes up on the 7th of February, 2024. So, yes, I did see and hear comments and so forth, independence changed to now October. But we just want people to understand clearly that this is just the launch to signal all the various activities that will be taking place in the parishes, communities, etc. So as time go on, people will certainly hear of all that is happening. Our Grenadian brothers and sisters out in the diaspora, they would certainly want to make plans for traveling. Maybe they want to come to the St. Patrick event or St. Andrew or St. George, etc. It's one whole year of activities to mark our 50th anniversary. All right. It's going to be really a fantastic occasion.
Tell me what the theme is for us, the significance of the theme from your point of view.
Well, it speaks to one people moving forward. And essentially, that will signal the direction in which, Grenada is moving at this point in time. So I don't have it in front of me here presently, but I'll get to it to you shortly. But that's the overall message that they wish to present at this point in time. I'll get you the theme in a while.
Right.
Yeah. But it was really a fantastic event yesterday. And the turnout was more than expected. It was fantastic. And the lighting at the event there, it really showcased an atmosphere as though Grenada looked as though for one moment it was in Tuscany, maybe in Italy or some European city. It was really fantastic. And the backdrop of the carnage was just outstanding indeed. Grenadians locally and abroad, they got that real nationalistic feeling, a feeling that we have arrived and we are moving somewhere in the right direction. That peace and that love and that coming together of a nation, moving forward as one people. That has been a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment. And congratulations to the chairman, Dr. Wendy Crawford, and her team as they unfolded the presentation at the launch yesterday. And of course, Prime Minister's speech was really, really captivating, and he really did a wonderful job in his presentation. So all in all, congratulations to the entire team. I am just part of the PR subcommittee, and I'm just doing my little bit to help promote this event.
Talk to me about the significance of our 50th anniversary of independence. Talk to me about the significance of it.
Well, first and foremost, people need to remember and to know that we came out of a period where our independence was fought for literally. It was in darkness. There was no electricity, and purposely so indeed, because of the disputes between the then Prime Minister, Sir Eric Matthew Gary, and others. So there was this struggle for the launch of Grenada's independence. It is now 50 years. So it's almost moving from darkness into the light, like 1,000 points of light, celebrating one people, one journey, one future. And that is the theme for the independence celebration. One people, one journey, one future. And it says a lot because we have come a long way. We have accomplished quite a lot over the 50 years by, the several governments that have, ruled Grenada over these past 50 years. There have been ups and downs, but all in all, we have made progress as a people. And this is now looking forward to another cycle of 50 years. And the anticipation is transformation. We need to now transform this nation into a productive society, a society that is going to make leaps and bounds in just about every area of life. And this is what we are trying to accomplish through this administration now. Other administrations in the future to come, well, they will have their challenge. And our young people have a responsibility because they are going to be the future leaders. And they got to start preparing themselves and getting ready for leadership, getting ready to lead this nation when their time comes around. No one stays in office or in anything forever. It is a cycle. You get onto the stage, you perform your act as best as you can, you get off the stage, and you make way for the next generation. This is life. We can't run away from it. So this is essentially the way forward at this time, celebrating our golden jubilee of independence under the theme, one people, one journey, one future.
All right. Now, 50 years of independence is a significant number for this particular country. Now, this administration is in power right now, and they are the one, of course, bringing across this particular hallmark in our journey from then to now. How would this administration would like to see, Grenada remembered, or whatever they have done in this 50 years of independence, especially when we move through into 2024, the significance of it, the remembrance of it, how would they like to see that go through?
Well, I think it is quite clear that the vision of this administration has always been and continues to be one of transformation. So it is necessary to transform our agriculture sector, important to transform our health sector, our tourism sector. All the sectors that drive this economy requires transformation. This is not to say that the efforts of previous governments weren't noticeable. The fact is, every generation or every new government has a responsibility to carry the torch a little further. Some may do less, some may do more, but that is the trajectory which Grenada is heading at this time. A young prime minister who is saying we need to transform this nation, a transformative spirit, changing the mindset of Grenadians, changing the mindset as to how we do things or how we did things. And so this is his vision. And therefore, his entire team has embraced this vision, which he has shared with them, and of course, with the people of Grenada. So we all need to give support and encouragement to this new initiative, and let's see where Grenada goes from henceforth. I think we can see evidence of the fact that a lot of work is now going into the foundational underpinning of this transformational agenda. In agriculture, for example, you can get the feeling that the foundation and the underpinning is being laid so that we can start the processing with small industries. We have always complained over the decades, too much of our mangoes are going to waste, our fruit and vegetables going to waste. And therefore, this now we can see and we can feel that something tangible is being done in order to correct this unfortunate situation that existed in the past. So you may have heard Minister Andy Williams talk about the assistance of the Indian government, providing funding so that small industries can be developed. India, over the past 50 years, they have advanced leaps and bounds. They're probably the number 3 in the world right now as an economic force. They weren't always that way. It is because of the change of mindset in that country. It is because of the change of how people do things and the transformation that the Prime Minister has led in India that has brought them, thus far. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel in Grenada. All we need to do is to essentially piggyback and copy some of the things that have worked over the world in various countries and remodel, make it better, and move on. Essentially, that is the spirit that we are feeling at this time in Grenada. Our health sector, that's another area, and already we can see initiatives being put into that direction with the announcement of by the Prime Minister about a new hospital which will provide teaching services, which will provide the kind of service that our people require. It would also hinge on the development of our tourism industry, because you have heard over the years Grenadians living in diaspora, they say, no, well, it's time for me to retire, but the health sector, health services, I'm a little bit concerned about it. Once this new hospital and the new thrust in health embraces this nation, then you'll have a change of mindset of Grenadians in the diaspora. You'll have a change of mindset of tourists, of visitors coming to Grenada. So that rebounds to a positive upliftment for the economy, for the country, for the people. So that is the vision in which it is going. And we can only give support to the government, irrespective as to which political party you want to support. The fact is, support the national agenda in moving forward. Right. And this is what I would encourage.
Now, I would like to ask you this in terms of, we heard from the chairman of the OECU, the committee that is responsible for organizing the anniversary of our 50th anniversary independence, encouraging all Grenadians to participate and be part of all the activities that will run through the year of 2020 from now until the end of 2024. Would you like to also usher an appeal to individuals out there to participate in the various communities and so forth and be part and make this celebration a grand one for us in all?
Well, absolutely so indeed. I mean, this is not an NDC independence. This is the independence celebrations of our country. And therefore, all Grenadians should feel proud and participate in this activity. The chairman made it clear that individuals who feel that they have a contribution to make, maybe their ideas, or they may have some skill or talent that they wish to share with respect to the development or enhancement of the celebrations, there is an opportunity for you to get in touch with the planning committee and make your recommendations, make your suggestions, offer your skills, your talent, your time, what have you, so that, we all can feel part and parcel of the celebration. It's going to be massive come the 7th of February 2024. If what we saw last night is just a snippet of what is to come, then I can only just imagine what the 7th of February would look like. But there are going to be lots of activities throughout the year to celebrate this 50th anniversary, which culminates on the 7th. So Grenadians from every walk of life, let us not politicize this anniversary. This is our anniversary. This is Grenada's anniversary. This is your anniversary. 50th. It only comes once in a lifetime. Let us make the best out of it and celebrate and contribute in whatever way we can.
All right. Certainly happy to hear you say that from giving that a bit of perspective there. Certainly agree with you on all the points that you have made. I know there are lots of folks who are listening and viewing to us this morning, and you know, they may want to, of course, give their views in terms of the launch yesterday. I'm assuming you would like to hear from them in terms of how they felt, how they felt about it and so forth. So let's go to the phone line. The telephone number 435-2041. We're talking to Mr. Terry Forrester. We're talking about the launch of our 50th anniversary. And you may have, of course, maybe a question you would like to ask Terry in terms of about the 50th anniversary and on our way forward as a nation. Let's go to the phone line and entertain our first caller. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings. Can you guarantee that
Mr. Forrester can hear me? Go right ahead. He's hearing you loud and clear.
Mr. Forrester, greetings.
Greetings.
I reckon that you know where I'm coming from because I'm concerned. You know, I cannot change the past. No one can really change the past. But what we can do, and even better if we do it collectively, is to influence the consequences of the past. Mr. Forrester, sir, I am concerned that up to today, no one in this country seems to be interested in speaking of what I have been talking about, that which I've been speaking about. I want to give you an analogy quickly. I am interviewing you, and I ask, marital status, sir? You say married. Can I have a document which gives face to that, sir? Well, there is none. I don't have. Should I believe you, Mr. Forrester, that in fact you are married? You see, documents that give faith, thus legitimacy when it comes to law, are very important. My question to you, have you and your team yet found the documents which gives faith to the constitutionality of this country? In other words, the Constitution Act, and further, the Independent Act, which we're boasting about? Have you, Mr. Forrester? How soon do you think these documents can be presented to the people as we celebrate and spend millions of dollars on celebration of independence? Thank you. Have a nice day, will you?
Thank you, as usual, Brother Rollo, and your analogy is very well accepted. The fact is, you know, and I think we all know, is that probably such a document does not exist. As a matter of fact, if you probably even go to the conquerors of the world, the British, the Belgians, and the Europeans, the Americans and others, whom have conquered other nations over the centuries, you ask them, where is their certificate? And the answer would be, there is no certificate. We occupied. And it, over the years, became legitimate as a result of history, as a result of time. The fact of the matter remains, there are things in life which we cannot change. We cannot reverse our history. And while your point is very well taken, you ask about my marriage certificate. I have an old one of my deceased wife, if you like to see that one. The thing is, we are at a time in our history where we have to now accept certain norms that has been bestowed upon us, and we have to move forward. We cannot pretend to be going forward and be always looking back in the rearview mirror.
All right.
So I take your point, but there is absolutely nothing anyone can do at this particular point in time, save and accept if we wish to raise hell with the British government and ask for such a document to be so registered. That is just my personal opinion.
We do have another caller, Terry. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I noticed something last night with this celebration of the 50th anniversary of independence, right? They had the whatever on the carnival. You know, not one person say a word of prayer for Grenada. Not a person. I mean, come on.
That's not true.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041. Maybe the caller didn't hear.
Maybe the caller missed.
He missed that.
Yeah, he missed the prayers.
I did notice there was someone praying in the initial on the start.
Yes.
Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, GT, and good morning, Mr. Forrester. I think Mr. Forrester makes the point that the first caller called in terms of the certificate. The fact is that there are no certificates because an error was made. What should have happened on the occasion of independence is the constitution that was handed to us should have been appropriated by our then new parliament or the old parliament, bringing in the new one. That wasn't done. It clearly, this was identified by one of the commission that was inquiring the constitutional reform. And this is where the first caller gets his information from. They found out, indeed, that with all the prompt and thing, and who have we not get caught carried away, even on the 50th anniversary, with a lot of prompt and you know, pageantry and so on, we missed certain fundamental points. But you know that there are no certificates around because it wasn't done. It wasn't done, and you see, the first caller has a point, and unless we arrest that, and maybe the simple thing we can do something retroactively. Let all the members of parliament go in and do a corrective measure. Unless that is done, that would be a teething problem, because people could continue, notwithstanding over time. You might say the Constitution is destroying or meaning that over time it have acquired some level of legitimacy. But that legal, symbolic thing wasn't done. And we have to acknowledge that. And until we do that, and probably try to do something correctively, symbolically, or this would continue to come up. I mean, and it'll create a problem for the future generation. In addition, my contribution is, I think one thing we can do, we need to really hasten our allegiance to this King Charles and whatever. Maybe the most, unfortunately, the previous government was so dishonest that they didn't give us a clear opportunity to reform the Constitution. I mean, they were all for all kind of other reasons, other from reforming the Constitution. But if there's one thing we can do at this point in time, as you see, a quick referendum, changing that allegiance, I have difficulty after 40, after 50 years. We're still owing Her Majesty's prison, His Majesty prison, and his this and that. It's very insulting.
Take another 10 seconds and wrap, please.
Yeah, it's very insulting to Sicily, so I think we should hasten that. But listen what the first caller said. He had some legitimacy, some validity in what he's saying. We did not do what we had to do, appropriate the Constitution that was handed to us. Notwithstanding the fact that we need to reform it now. We didn't appropriate it.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 435-2041. Terry, I'm not sure if you could respond. He did say the whole...
Yeah, well, I want to thank the caller for his contribution, and himself and the previous caller. They do have, valuable points. And probably, indeed, this is an opportunity as we move closer to our 50th anniversary to really take this into consideration and even in a symbolic manner do something so that the next generations can say, yes, this was done on the 50th anniversary. We have now recognized the fact that our nation was not properly constituted, and therefore this is in remembrance of this constitution in order to resolve this situation about our true legitimacy.
All right.
So this is something to give consideration to, and I would certainly raise it with the chairman of this committee so that the appropriate representation can be made to the powers that be.
We have another call online. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Oh, yes. Good morning to GT and good morning to your guest, Mr. Forrester. No, Constitution, yes. No, because I don't see ourselves getting a constitution in a hurry. What I'm saying, whilst we embark on the constitution, is it possible possible that what we want to put in the Constitution, right, that will take some time, that we do it now? Do we have a roadmap? Do we have a plan of action, that the things that we need to do, that we have to do? We're looking at the young people in the face. If we fail to get this country going, what will happen to them? My main concern, is that we're educating people at the highest level and we're not able to put them occupied. What are we doing to get the economy going? Because we could talk as much as we want, as we're talking. I'm hearing good things. But if we do not have the economy, right, in line, in train, in progress, these things is not possible. What effort are we making to get the economy going in a real way? A dialogue between the business people and the government of a master plan to get this economy going so we can put our people to work, raising revenue. We need the new infrastructure. Look at St. David's area. It's a very empty area from Las Vegas right up to Crowshoe. Vast amount of land, but look, empty. What are we doing to get this place going so we can put our people to work? This is my concern, not Constitution. That is my concern. What do we do to put people to work, to give them earning power so we can raise revenue? Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Kola. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, caller. I think we need to be realistic with respect to the comments made by the previous two callers. And it is only just a few months before we approach the 7th of February 2024. But at least if some indication is announced that there will be over the, let's say, 2024, a special committee put in place to review the concerns expressed over and over by Mr. Rollo and others. And it is indeed a legitimate concern. So at least maybe the Prime Minister may consider, upon recommendation from the chairman of the 50th anniversary, to maybe put in place such a committee to look at the review of this situation so that future generations can feel a sense of comfort. On the question with respect to creating employment, I think you would recognize the direction in which this government is heading. For example, you just heard from the minimum wage representative. This NDC administration and others were the only governments since 2011 to really give due consideration to the increase in wages for workers. The Constitution clearly, well, not the Constitution, but the law clearly states that every 3 years, wages must be reviewed. This administration has the boldness, the courage, and the tenacity to engage in this exercise. And this is continuing. Security workers, they have already gotten their wages adjusted. Others have already gotten theirs adjusted. And more consultations are taking place so that every worker and every sector in Grenada can fall into this minimum wage review. So this is a step in the right direction. Persons have enjoyed now their pension. Imagine the unions had to go to court in order to get a court ruling so that they can get what is legally due to them. Was that necessary? My answer would be a resounding no. So on the question of economic empowerment for people, this administration is just over a year in office. But I think the signals that I'm seeing with respect to the development of the economy is in the right direction. You have, for example, a tax amnesty, which expires on the 31st of December this year. Persons must take advantage of this, private and public, so that we can now reform our tax system. You've had now the bi-monthly arrangements in place. People are very happy about that. It is moving in the right direction. So you can see the efforts being made. The $100 million which was just signed off by our Minister of Finance only 2 weeks ago from Saudi Arabia at an interest rate of 1.5% with a 5-year moratorium. So in other words, you ain't even have to bother about repayment of that for 5 years. And I think it's a 25, 30-year loan arrangement at a 1.5% interest rate. That is almost a gift. Surely you would see these funds being put into areas of significant upliftment and development for the nation, which will ultimately resound in job creation. So it is moving in the right direction. I believe the Prime Minister has another trip overseas very shortly, and Grenadians will hear the benefits of these trips. These are not just joy rides. These are working sessions representing Grenada, representing our interests and the interests of the people. And when the benefits of these arrangements are unfolded, then we see the benefit of it. I know for a fact the chicken farm project, the shrimp farm project, where Grenada lost some $52.4 million in sale of passports to that particular investor. Work is being done in that area to see how Grenada can either get back this monies or hold that investor to some legal responsibility, with the hope that this project can get restarted.
All right, Mr. Forrester, let me take a pause there for a bit. I know there's so much you could say pertaining to that, but let's take our caller because we're a bit strapped for time. Let's take our final caller and then we get some closing comments. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning to you, Mr. Telesford, and to you, Mr. Forrester. On this feast day of All Saints, I just want to wish everyone all the best as we make our way to the various cemeteries, remembering those who have gone before we stand on their shoulders. And to say congratulations to the celebrations committee, those who have worked behind the scenes. You have done a tremendous job. We are indeed proud of you. It was a sight to behold. Thank you again and congratulations. We look forward to the 50th anniversary. In every parish, there will be celebrations. We say kudos to everybody involved. Have a great day. And
thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Mr. Forrester, we are strapped for time. Any closing comments before we take a wrap this morning?
Yeah, I just want to make it clear to the Grenadian public that when you hear statements being made, for example, all this government is doing is traveling and gala. First and foremost, all of these gala events are fundraising activities by the party, the NDC party in the diaspora. And they take care of all expenses, travel, hotel, meals, accommodation, the works. And it is in an effort of bringing our people together and raising legitimate funding for the use of the party. Others may have done other activities in trying to raise funds, but this is the measure, this is the method of the party raising funds through legitimate means. Quickly, the matter of housing. It must be made clear that the initiative led by the Housing Authority is to empower persons, empower Grenadians in owning these houses. The past arrangement was renting, and you rent for 30 years and it's still not yours. Here it is. This arrangement was put in place where persons can pay, in some instances, just over $300 a month, others $400 something. When you equate this on a daily basis, some of them are just paying, let's say, $10 per day. By 30 days, $300. But you have ownership. And not only that, you have equity, because the actual value of these accommodation is much, much more than what it was sold for. And you have a title deed in your hand that you can pass on to your children and to the next generation, as compared to what existed before, where you're just paying rent and you're not having, at the end of your life cycle, nothing to pass on to your children. This is true upliftment of our people. This is about transforming the housing sector and the housing industry between government and its people. So I just wanted to clear this statement up so that people understand the housing initiative. So congratulations to the Housing Authority and to the government of Grenada for making this possible.
All right. Terry, I want to thank you once again for popping in with me this morning. As always, have yourself a great day, sir.
Thank you, and thank you to all your callers and listeners.
All right. Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. Join us again for another edition. That's where I say goodbye for today.